You got my back, TJ? All right, appreciate it. I think we'll be good today. I let the internet do its thing the whole time. So we'll see. So far, so good. Okay, so good morning again. Welcome to Oasis. We are in a series called What About Me? The red letters. I was like, let me make sure, because it's not up yet. Anyway, so we're in a series called What About Me? And the question comes from us as Christians. That is the question that we ask. When I come to Jesus, when I accept him, when I'm ready to do this, I want to know what the terms and conditions are. What am I giving up? What do I have to do? But it's the only place where we look into the details of the terms and conditions, because we sign up for a lot of stuff online and it's like, read the terms and conditions. Do you accept? And we're like, I will not read, but I have read and accepted these terms and conditions. No question. And Jesus is the only place where we're like, that sounds hard. I'm good. So we are answering this question, what about me, from the mouth of Jesus? Not something that Rafer made up, not something that Rafer read and was like, Jesus told me. This is what Paul is saying, so I'm going to tell it to you. These are actual red letters, the words that Jesus spoke. So we, as Christians, we claim to be like Jesus. That is why we say we are Christians. And at Oasis, as long as I am pastor, that is my life goal for this church, for everybody that attends this church, to actually strive to be like Jesus, and that we change our lives accordingly, because that's what we say. So, yeah. So let's jump into it. So last week we started with the Beatitudes. The first week was picking up your cross, denying yourself, following Jesus. And last week we started the Beatitudes, the overarching attitude or the state of mind that we should be living in. What about me? This is what Jesus says about you. You should be doing this. You should live like this. You should think like this. So do that. So we're going to break all these down. But before we do that, I am going to recap what we did. So, blessed. Or if you are a King James fan, you say blessed. Whatever, you know. While I was doing this, I was like, man, why am I having such a hard time saying blessed? Just say it, Rafer. Jesus is not going to come down and be like, you're messing the Beatitudes up by saying blessed. You should say blessed. So I made a big change in my life to go from blessed to blessed. But blessed, those who receive God's favor regardless of what their circumstances may be. Fully satisfied, satisfying joy that comes from being indwelt by Christ. This is the statement and the baseline for all of the Beatitudes. That I'm good because I got Jesus regardless of what is going on outside of me. Regardless, I cannot say that enough. Regardless of what's going on outside of me, because of Jesus, I'm good. You want to fight? Cool. Let's do it, but just know I'm already good because I got Jesus. I don't need to prove anything in fighting. Also, I'm going to get beat up if you fight me. So I don't need to fight because I'm good. I got Jesus. So I'm sorry, my bad. Blessed. This is the baseline for the Beatitudes. So then Jesus goes in to say, blessed are the poor in spirit, those who are spiritually helpless. For theirs is the kingdom of heaven, and the kingdom of heaven is the privileges and the rewards of the divine kingdom. Blessed are those who are poor in spirit. Jesus, I cannot do this without you. Not the poor in spirit who's like, woe is me, life sucks. No, Jesus, I need you to help me, and I know that I cannot do this on my own. Thank you. I am poor in spirit. Thank you for giving me the kingdom of heaven. Thank you for being there and giving me all these rewards and privileges, because I cannot do this. Your rewards and privileges help me live my life. Thank you. Those who mourn. And not just mourn, but mourn over their sin and the sins of others, because they will be comforted. Jesus is the ultimate comforter. He said, yo, I'm going to go down to earth. I'm going to die. I'm going to take all the sin on. I'm going to pay the price. It's good, bruh. I got it. So we don't have to continue living in this, my sin, what, I got to pay for it. No, Jesus paid for it. Be comforted by the fact that Jesus did it. Yes, I still mess up. Yes, I still cuss people out sometimes. Yes, I want to get into a fight. Not me personally, but like, I don't want to do things. I'm lazy. So that's me. I'm not the fighter type. I'm like, fight, too much energy. Let's just be lazy. Like, that's not good either, you know? That's not good either. But those who mourn over their sin, God, I can't live like this anymore. Help me. What is going on? Jesus is the comfort. I took care of that. Be comforted. Be okay that I paid for it. It's done. Blessed are the meek, those who are humble and gentle, because they will inherit the earth. Friends of God receiving admission to the kingdom of heaven and its attendant privileges. When you go to a party, hopefully if you go to a party, you get a grab bag. If you throw a party and people don't leave with something, shame on you. Like, don't invite me unless you have a grab bag. Like, that's a good party. You know what I'm saying? I got bubble gum, a pencil, a sharpener, and a Jolly Rancher stick candy in my grab bag. This was a great party. And Jesus says, multiply that by 18,000, and that's what I'm giving you for those who are humble and gentle. That was a very weird example, but it made sense, right? Okay, it was relatable. Okay, good. But blessed are the meek. The meek, I am gentle, I am humble, I don't need anything. So they get everything. Everything that Jesus gets in inheriting the earth, they get that. That's tight. And then those who hunger and thirst, and that word means to crave. Those who crave righteousness. Righteousness, internal godliness, where the heart is right with God. Blessed are those who crave being right with God in their heart, inside of them, for they will be satisfied. And that word satisfied is something that I used Thanksgiving meal, where like you sit down and as you are actively eating a bite of Thanksgiving meal, you're like, I cannot wait to take the next bite as you're chewing. And you're so satisfied with that bite, but you can't wait to get the next bite. That's the satisfaction Jesus is giving for those who crave the righteousness of God. That's tight. He's like, bruh, take that. Oh, you want some more? I know you do. Here's some more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he's doing. And those people are blessed. I'm good because I got Jesus. So we're going to jump into the rest of it this week and wrap it up. So Matthew chapter 5, 2 through 12 reads. It's not here, but it's up there, so I'm going to stop looking back. Matthew 5, chapter 2 through 12. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. So continuing, blessed are the merciful, those who are compassionate in thought and action. So this tells me that it is not compassion if I don't move on it. If I look and I go, man, I have so much compassion for them, let's go. You just felt sorry for them. Compassion is thought and action. And this is what Jesus is saying. Again, blessed are the merciful, those who see and they do it well, man. We know those people who are like, we got to do something right now. That's crazy. Blessed are those people. And the people who strive to live like this, first, again, I'm blessed. I'm good because Jesus. I'm good because Jesus, because he's my source. This is where this ultra uber compassion comes from. I'm good there, but that person receives compassion from Jesus in thoughts and action, right? So I'm literally giving what I get back from Jesus. And that's crazy to think about, Jesus having thoughts and actions of compassion towards me. So, for example, Jenny, myself, Jen and Amy got to drive to Albuquerque Friday. Well, our tire 2 days ago blew, like the whole side was like, I got out of the car and it was like, shh. I was like, oh, we are not saving that. This done. And Jenny said, the first thing she said was, oh my gosh, what if we were driving? So like the tire started losing air as we turned from Llano onto Norris. And we were just going to the Nazarene, like they live across the street from Nazarene. So she goes, imagine if we were driving to Albuquerque and we're on the 40. I was gonna lie and say what the actual speed limit is, but we know I'm driving at like 90 miles an hour. Like you're going 75. I'm not going 75. 87 to 90, somewhere in there. Dang, like Jesus was like, nope, say it. I was like, oh no, Jesus. Anyway, slow, I'm driving slower than most, some, whatever-ish. But anyway, the compassion and the thoughts and the actions of Jesus' compassion by saying, hey, let me hold that moment from happening next week. Let's have that happen right now. Thank you for your mercy, Lord. I appreciate that. Because it's really bad if I'm somewhere between Klein's Corners and pick whatever city you want. Moriarty, whatever. We all know what that looks like. Nothing. And Jesus said, let me spare you that. So now we have a whole new set of tires, new tires, and nothing to worry about. Thank you, Lord, for your compassion in both thought and action. That's tight. But that only happens if that's something that I am giving. That's crazy. Blessed are those who are pure in heart, sincere and upright in my heart, my mind, my will, my emotions, my desire, and affections. That is what makes up my heart. My will, my emotions. A lot of times we don't like to talk about that. Drake, in my feelings. I said this to the girls at Blackwater. If Drake was pure in heart, he would not have been in his feelings. And then we don't get a good hit. Kiki would be very thankful for not having that hit. But the rest of us would have to suffer without this great song in our lives. But Drake don't have Jesus, so he is not pure in heart. So in his emotions, in his heart, in his mind, he is not there. And Jesus says, you who are, as I work to be more pure in my thought process, as I work to be more pure in my heart, in my emotions, it says these people will see God. And a lot of times we put it off as something further. Like you will see God. Be pure in heart for all time and you will see God at some point. That's how we think about it. But no, you start to see God in the moments. Because my heart is pure, guess what? There's only Jesus here and it's only Jesus that I see the rest of my life through. So as I become more pure in heart and I keep cleansing and washing and becoming more and more pure, I see God in all the moments, the big ones, the small ones, the mundane. I see Jesus in those. That's tight. Because a lot of us, according to Facebook, do not see that. And not like us, but like us in the world. You know what I'm saying? Very rarely do we see people just talking about how good Jesus just is. You know what I'm saying? But as I become more pure, as I become and work towards this pure in heart, Jesus allows me to see him in all the moments. Even when you pull up to Blackwater to do your sermon and you see a guy who's having some issues in his marriage and you're like, oh, Jesus, no, why? That's what I said. I was like, Lord, I'm just here to do my sermon. Like, please. Of course, I was right behind him in line. So then I had to talk to him. And then Jesus is like, bruh, get yourself together, okay? I know you see the moment. Do something, please. Yes, sir. In the least, I can buy your coffee. You know what I'm saying? But even in those moments, I thank God that the pure in heart Rafer spoke before the Rafer who was just trying to get all the things done. The pure in heart Rafer was like, oh, I got to do something. And the Rafer who was like, we got business to handle today was like, Jesus, no. You know Michael Scott when Toby comes back and he's like, no, God, no. That's the moment that I had in the car. I was like, Jesus, come on. But the pure in heart Rafer spoke up first. And that is something that I'm thankful for. And I'm thankful. And I pray that that is something that I always have. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that my spirit was like, time to do some work. And I was like, no. I love that that's what spoke up first. Because that tells me, hey, this is actually working, even for me. That's tight. So the pure in heart, the one that is pure in their emotions, their will, their hearts, their mind, they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, an ambassador who comes to bring peace. This personally is where Rafer likes to live. I love to live in a peacemaking situation. For those who do not know, an ambassador is someone who has no authority of their own. They have an authority given by a government who has much land, much more land than that person singularly does. And wherever that person goes, that government has said, hey, we place our authority on your shoulders. So when you step into the room, if you build a house, AKA a U.S. embassy, not in the United States, when people from that country come into your embassy, guess what? They are on U.S. soil. In somebody else's house, they have built a house, and you run that house. And they have to abide by your rules. That is an ambassador. An ambassador who comes to bring peace. So this peace is not a peace of my own. This is a peace that God says, here, take this and go make some things happen. Sit people down, say what you need to say what you need to say. This is where you're right. This is where you're wrong. Here's the truth of the matter. You go work on this, you go work on this, and together, life will be better. Marriage counseling hint. I mean, that's what marriage is, essentially. I get to be a peacemaker. I love it. It's my favorite thing. But this peace is not something that that I just come up with myself. This is not a peace that Rafer just like made up and was like, yeah, peace, you know? No. This is something that God said, I need you to go and do. Peacemaker. I know a preacher who used to say there's a difference between the peacekeeper and the peacemaker. The peacekeeper is the one who says, let's not, hey, everybody, just calm down. Okay, let's just breathe. Okay, hug it out. All right, good. All right, we're good. That's the peacekeeper. The peacemaker says, no, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's actually work through some things. Let's actually shake some foundations. Let's rebuild foundations. Let's go further than where we are. And for the peacemaker, these people will be called sons of God, those whom God loves and cherishes as a father. So these are the people, because you're like, well, we're all like God's kids. Yes, we are all God's kids. But the peacemakers are the kids that God is playing catch with in the front yard. So then what we like to do as Christians, we're like, my life is messy. Ignore that part because I'm mad. You know, who cares about my life? Why you get to play with dad in the front yard? God is like, yo, we're going to the movies, me and my kids. And you're like, how come I don't get to go? How come I got to do a book report? And God is like, well, because I told you to go make peace. And you didn't. You didn't make peace, so you got to stay home and write a book report. That's the worst thing, because everybody's going to the movies, and we're mad at our siblings because they are going. And we're ignoring the fact that I did not do my part so I could go to the movies. So yes, we are still God's kids. Yes, I still love you. But also, I very plainly said, red letters, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. You're still my kid. I love you. But this kid did what I said. And that's very simple. That is very simple. And we mad at each other. Well, they get in this, they get in that, they doing that. But your life is not moving forward. You're sitting in mud talking about, I don't get it. Jesus just don't. He don't see me, I guess. Stand up and first get out of the mud. And for once, standing up, you're like, oh, it's different up here. Oh. Be the peacemaker, the mindset. Blessed are the peacemakers. Dad is like, I told you to clean your room, you didn't, and now you mad because you got to write a book report as a punishment. Instead of going to the movies with me and your siblings, also I turned off the Wi-Fi. That was in my notes. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Again, for righteousness' sake, for the sake of internal godliness. 2 Timothy 2:11-13 reads, the saying is trustworthy, for if we have died with him, we will also live with him. If we endure, we will also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself. If we suffer for his sake, if I suffer for the sake of Jesus, where's my sentence? Oh, if I suffer for his sake, the privileges and the rewards of the divine kingdom belong to me. Again, things are bigger. And all of the Beatitudes are not daily physical things that Jesus is talking about. It's raising my awareness. It's looking at things that are bigger. So in those moments where I'm having issues with people, I'm not really even having real issues with people. Because one, if I'm blessed, guess what? Me and Jesus are good. Do what you do. I love him. He loves me. We're good. I'm looking further past today. I'm looking further past 5 years. I'm looking past 10 years. I'm looking past that. I'm looking to the bigger. And so if I can suffer for Jesus, the actual moments of people not letting me do things or belittling me or talking bad about me, which we'll talk about in the next Beatitude, if I can live those things, again, the kingdom of heaven is mine. But I have to do my part first. Blessed are you when others revile you, persecute you, and say all kinds of malicious, painful, and hateful things because of Jesus. Can you give me a next slide, please, TJ? Thank you. When others revile you, persecute you, and say all kinds of malicious and painful and hateful things because of Jesus. The important part there is because of Jesus. Not when they just say things, because that's between them and Jesus. When they say these things because of Jesus. When they know that I'm living a life that is holy and righteous, that is in favor of Jesus, that is listening and doing as Jesus tells me, and then they come and they say, you want to be fake, you're this, you're that, based on your life with Jesus. That's what Jesus is talking about. And what happens when that happens? Jesus said, rejoice, be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. That breakdown says, be glad and jump for joy because your gain is huge when you get to your final resting place. So here's the whole scene. Be glad and jump for joy when people treat you bad because you love Jesus. That's a very weird and backwards response. Be glad and jump for joy when you post something on Facebook and people are like, Christianity's stupid. It's not even real. Why do you believe that? Yes! Yes! It's working! He said jump for joy. Okay. Do a tray jump. Be glad. Be glad that people calling you out on Facebook. That's crazy, right? That don't even make sense. Like, Jesus, I know you've been here for 30 years on earth, but like, this doesn't make sense. I don't know if you know how this like human thing works yet. We need to fight back. And translating, we need to clap back, right? Clap, anyway. We need to get at these people. They came at me first, so I need to go back. I need to say something. I need to do something. I need to prove, Jesus, that you are who you say you are. And Jesus said, nah, man, just be happy. Be happy that a person is willing to go back and forth on Christmas Day in the comments. On Christmas Day of all days. Be happy. Craziest part about that is people see your response. People see your civility. People see your love. People see that you aren't cursing at him. People see that you're like, let's just meet for coffee. And then further, people are like, yo, leave Rafer alone. Okay, wasn't asking for that. Okay. One girl actually like cussed at that guy and was like, hey, leave him alone. I was like, well, now you're missing the whole point of like Jesus now. Like, but okay, I'll take it, you know? Be glad. Jump for joy when people are coming at you because you love Jesus. That's a ridiculous, backwards way to live life. But again, Jesus doesn't do anything normal. And he says, this is the mindset that you should have. Blessed. This is what I want to be. This is where I want to live. This is something that I want to share with other people. This is it. This is the goal. This is the path that I want to live in. And the Beatitudes will keep me there. I said last week, go through and pray through the Beatitudes. Lord, let me be this. Lord, give me this. Give me this. Instead of the things that make me comfortable, not the things that make me comfortable, but the things that actually challenge who I am as a person. The thing that actually makes me treat people different at work. The thing that actually allows me to sleep at night. Working towards that. That's what this word blessed is. I want to be poor in spirit. I want to mourn my sin. I want to be gentle. I want to hunger and thirst for righteousness. I want to be merciful, pure in heart, a peacemaker, persecuted for Jesus. And I will say it every time. In America, we don't know what that is really like. I love the example of I'm playing K-Love at work and like people are like, turn that down. And we're like, oh, I'm persecuted for you, Jesus. Like, just turn it down. Like, put on some headphones, you know? Like, it's okay. That's not persecution. Like the people that Jesus is talking to after he goes back to heaven, these people are legitimately beat up like Jesus was. They have to hide just to have church. That type of persecution. I want to be treated badly on behalf of Jesus. And not because of the promise on the other side of this. Because a lot of times we talk about the promise. What do I get out of this? What about me, Jesus? No, but Jesus said it's conditions first. I need to line myself up with the conditions. The other side of it is a byproduct of the relationship. The relationship. There's a byproduct of natural relationship. I can't say that enough. There is a byproduct of relationship. All of us interact with people and we all know that what the rules are in whatever relationship it is. We all know there's some established rules. I don't treat you like this. You don't treat me like this because we're friends. You're my wife. You're like, we have rules. And there are byproducts that come naturally from those unspoken rules. Thankfully, Jesus says, hey, here's the path. Live it. Be blessed. Lastly, these are the words of Jesus. I wish I was awesome enough to come up with these, but I'm not. So instead, I just wear cool socks and make corny jokes. That's it. But this is what Jesus said. And again, if we can't live the words that Jesus said, what's the point? I understand Paul, Old Testament, I don't get it, what's going on? Jesus is saying it right here. If you live off the words of Jesus specifically, you'll be pretty okay. You'll be more than okay. You'll be good all the time because Jesus said it. Jesus said it, and literally his word goes. His word goes forever, and not like his word goes forever, but actually it goes forever, So be blessed. That's the goal here. Continually being okay with Jesus. That's tight. So we're going to go into the holy place. We're going to listen to The Cause of Christ one more time. It may be a different song next week. I don't know. But spend this time with Jesus. Talk to him. Work through the Beatitudes. Read them again if necessary. And start asking God, where in my life can these different things come to life? And then pray for that. And work towards that as you pray for that. Let's go into the holy place.